Hi, I'm Diane Hosfelt, and I'm the Privacy and Security Lead for Mixed Reality at Mozilla.
Hi, my name is Hui Jing, and I'm a Mozilla tech speaker.
Hi, I'm Dan Callahan, Callahan on Twitter, and I'm an engineer in developer relations at Mozilla.
I'm Fabien. I work for the European Parliament and UNICEF in WebXR, so virtual reality and mixed reality, and anything and everything in between.
Hello, I'm Marc. I'm the founder and organizer of Beyond Tellerrand, an event about design and technology taking place in Munich, Berlin, and Düsseldorf.
So Mozilla means to me an alternative. I'm really excited by technology, sometimes a bit too much, but I think it has to be done right.
I mean, first, it's where I work, but it's more than that. It's a way to make the world a better place through my work, which is really important to me.
To me, Mozilla represents the voice of humans, of communal interest on the web. And having Mozilla at the table helps us strike that balance between the needs that businesses have on the internet and the needs that society has on the internet.
Well, I've used Mozilla since the first version came out in 2004, so I really remember the Mozilla dinosaur very fondly. But to me, Mozilla is an organization that really cares about the health of the web and truly wants to make the web a better place.
Mozilla is, first of all, a great supporter of my events for a long time now already, and very trustable and loyal supporter, doing really good things for the community.
I'm at the roadshow because I need to meet more people, different people. I don't want to stay in my little bubble. I think VR, AR, everything around it is extremely exciting, but I think it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary if you don't understand how it's working, at least a little bit.
I'm part of the roadshow because I really want to talk to people about mixed reality privacy. It's an exciting new technology that's not super well understood yet, and there are a lot of unique considerations, like the fact that we're going to have multiple always on cameras and other sensors, and we need to deal with the implications of this now rather than once it's already entrenched in our lives.
So with my talk today, I want to tell the community what WebAssembly is and give people kind of a conceptual framework to think about WebAssembly, as well as kind of some pointers to where it's going in the future, because it's not just a technology for the browser. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about WebAssembly. What Mozilla and the other vendors working in WebAssembly and the W3C community group have done is created a brand new fundamental technology for the web that also applies equally well to Node.js, and we're starting to see people, like with Mozilla's own WASM time runtime, take WebAssembly outside of the browser and put it in the server, put it on the edge of edge computation, put it in embedded systems. And all of this started from filling a missing piece on the web platform.
Well, I want to share with them the new features that DevTools has to support the design and creation of layouts that utilize a lot of the new powerful CSS layout techniques.
I think the idea was to get people out of the, let's say, Mozilla bubble that maybe Beyond Tellerrand would address, so that different audience would appear at the events than usual, because usually you tend to speak to your own bubbles only. Same counts for me, for Beyond Tellerrand, and so it's nice to work together to achieve different people, to approach different people.
I would really like to hear what experiences people have had with AR and VR, and privacy should never be a one-person role. It should always be a community. Everyone from designers to front-end and back-end engineers needs to contribute to it if we're going to have any meaningful privacy. So that's what I'm really hoping to get is, not just learning, but hopefully collaborations in the future.
I don't know if I want to learn something. I think the exchange in general, like updating each other and showing their latest work, talking about their latest work, latest interests, for example, is what I really like to do with people coming to this event.
Well, I want to hear from them what their pain points are when it comes to using CSS, when it comes to adopting some of these newer CSS features and how things like DevTools can potentially help them better understand some of the more complex topics.
So one of the most important things for me as a Mozilla employee and a former Mozilla community member is going to events where I can see face-to-face the people who use Firefox, who understand and believe in Mozilla, and see what their experiences are. Because when you're an employee, there's a bit of a, you're in the forest, and you see the trees and you understand everything, but it's really important to get that outside perspective on, are we building the right things for people? What are the pain points that people are experiencing? How can we create better products that serve our nonprofit mission to make a web for people, not necessarily for profit?
What's exciting about the web to me, so in the mixed reality context, right, I work on the immersive web. And the most amazing thing about the web platform in this context is that it doesn't matter if you have the most expensive headset, you can still participate in this incredible new immersive world, and you can do it in a meaningful way without being trapped in a specific system, a specific ecosystem, and that opens doors for things like education and remote healthcare that simply can only afford so much. And I think it's really important that as we move into an immersive world, that we include everyone and we don't leave people behind just because of access.
So I'm kind of cheating because the thing I'm most excited about is what I'm speaking about on the roadshow, and that's WebAssembly. I think for a long time, for over 20 years, web technology has just meant HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And the web hasn't been able to take advantage of the just vast spectrum of lower level languages or languages that have different paradigms than JavaScript. And with WebAssembly, that's finally possible. You can seamlessly write a program in Rust and run it in the browser, or run it on the server side with Node. And I think we've just started to appreciate how transformative that is in the developer community, and I'm here to share where I think that's going to be going.
What's exciting about the web for me is it's a tool to think, and the ability to change this tool, to challenge it to whatever I think might be a better way to think. That's the most exciting part.
Well, I definitely have a slant toward CSS and designing layouts on the web in general. And I think that with these new features that have been coming in the recent years, we have opened a lot of possibilities because we are no longer limited by CSS. Instead, the newer features sort of unlock and give designers and developers a much better way to truly design for a medium as versatile as the web.
Exciting about the web is how fast it is, how you turn around and from one day to the other, you learn all these new things or hear about all these new things you want to learn about. And this is why those events are great to learn about exactly those things.
I definitely virtual reality. Everybody get excited by augmented reality because I think it's maybe because of science fiction, or maybe it's because it's closer to what we already know, and maybe people can try it more easily on their phone or tablet or whatnot. But virtual reality, I think is going to change quite a lot how we learn, how we work, etc. It takes a lot of time because it's still far from perfect, but yeah, definitely virtual reality.
CSS, again, because it seems like people are still stuck in the mindset that CSS is this archaic, very limiting technology without realizing that it has evolved so much over the past 2 decades. It can do so much more. And it's not the CSS of before. CSS is now a tool for empowering developers to build layouts instead of a limitation.
So I think WebAssembly is kind of an underappreciated technology. I don't think people have realized the plethora of third-party libraries that can now go onto the web. And so it's possible to build experiences that go everywhere the web goes, anything that has a browser. but that can also pick and choose from the entire Rust ecosystem, the entire C and C++ ecosystem, more or less, which can now be compiled to WebAssembly and can run as part of the web platform natively. And so you no longer have to wait for a library to get re-implemented in JavaScript before you can use it in your projects. If it can compile to WebAssembly, it can be part of the web. And I think we're just now starting to see people kind of, WebAssembly's been around for 2 years, and we're just now seeing people transition from that, shiny experimental phase to reduction to practice, to how do I make something practical with WebAssembly? And I think that's going to be really big.